Hello, mathematical fifth grade thinkers. You may recognize that this is not the voice of Mrs. Bagleen. This is Mr. Wilmoth speaking to you, and I will have the privilege of teaching some of these flipped lessons here. Um, However, you'll have to forgive me because I'm sure my writing here will not be as quick or as um, it will probably be messier than Mrs. Bagley's because I don't have as much experience with this. So go easy on me. And today, the objectives, and I need to get back here. There we go. Today, your objectives, I will be able to use cross products to find out if two fractions are equivalent. Also, I will be able to use cross multiplication to solve proportions. So you may or may not be familiar with those phrases, cross products and cross multiplication. And so I will be talking to you about those right now. So cross products are found by multiplying the numerator of each fraction by the denominator of the other fraction. So let's say we have 8 twelfths, and 8 twelfths is equal to 2 thirds. All right, so to find the cross products, we would multiply across like so. So 2 times 12 equals 24, and 8 times 3 equals 24. So, whoops. So we've just used cross multiplication to find the cross products, which is 24 here. And since these cross products are the same, 24 is equal to 24, we know that these are in fact equivalent fractions. If they were not equal, if we came up with two different numbers here, then this would not be an equal, it would not be a true statement. 8 twelfths is equal to 2 thirds. But in this case, it is. So here on this next one, I want you to pause the video and practice using cross multiplication and see if these are equivalent fractions or not. So use cross multiplication to find the cross products, and you can pause now. All right, so if we try this one, 3 times 12 is 36. And 4 times 9, or 9 times 4, is also 36. So because these are equal, 3 times 12 is equal to 9 times 4, so they are both 36, then we have equivalent fractions. So that's my check mark there, because it is a true statement. These are equal, they are equivalent fractions. Now over here, 5 times 9 is equal to 45. And 6 times 8 is equal to 48. So these are not equivalent fractions because 45 is obviously not equal to 48. The cross products are not equal. So then let's get this out of the way. So this is not a true statement. These are not equivalent fractions. That equal sign is lying to us. So I'm going to put the mark through it to say those are not equal. All right. Now, we can use cross products and cross multiplication to solve open proportions. You talked about open proportions in the last lesson, And so you're doing the same thing here and finding cross products, but in this case, we don't know what this value is. So 10 times x, or 10x, is equal to 12 times 2, which we know 12 times 2 is 24. And now, if we have 10 of something, we have 10x, but we want to find out what 1x is, we can divide by 10. So now from here, it's just algebra that you've also learned how to solve for x. So 10x, 10 divided by 10 is 1, so we have x equals 24 divided by 10, which is 2.4. So you have solved, and if you did it correctly, then your cross products should be equal. So 10 times x, which now we know, or we think we know, that x is 2.4. So let's try it. 10 times 2.4. Well, we know if we multiply a number by 10, we're essentially moving the decimal place one spot to the right. So that is equal to 24. And we already know that 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 2. So our cross products, this works. Cross products are equal. So x is 2.4. Now pause and practice for yourself. All right, so again, we have 10x equals 6 times 8 is 48. And we want to find out what 1x is. So let's divide by 10, because we have 10x. Then we have to do the same thing to both sides. So 10 divided by 10 is 1, which leaves x. And 48 divided by 10 is 4.8. So you should have gotten 4.8. And that does, if we check our cross products, we know 6 times 8 is 48. And 4.8, we're saying x is 4.8. 4.8 times 10 is also 48. So that works. Okay, so the last one here, try this one by yourself first, because even though it's a story problem, you're just setting up an open proportion like you did in the past lesson, and then you're going and doing what we learned today with the cross multiplication. So set up your proportion and solve. Okay, so hopefully you figured it out, but we're comparing 6 inches, 6 inches of water in 3 hours. So now we have a proportion comparing that ratio to the number of inches, which we don't know. So let's say, well, let's use a variety of variables and use p as our variable. So p inches in 2 hours. Okay, I'll get a different color here. So 6 times 2, if we use cross products, cross multiplication, 6 times 2 is 12, and 3p. Um, oh, I'm sorry. We didn't want to do that yet. See, Mr. Wilmus making a mistake here. 6 times 2, yes, it equals 12, but it should also equal 3p. So now we know 12 is equal to 3p. And we want to know what 1p is, so we divide by 3, and we find out that p is equal to, and I can write it on this side, we are allowed to do that. P is, so 3 divided by 3 is 1, which leaves p. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So p equals 4. And then if we check it, if this is 4, 4 times 3 is 12. And we already know that 6 times 2 is 12. So the cross products are equal when we cross multiply. So these are equivalent fractions, and 4 is our answer. 4 inches. All right. So now you should be prepared to use cross multiplication to determine if two fractions are equivalent and also to solve proportions. And I will leave you, before you get to your journal pages and assessment, take a look at these impossible stairs and see if you can figure out why they're impossible. If we start here, we go up the staircase, we're going up. Looks like we're still going up, still going up, still going up, but then yet we end up at the same spot. So there you have it, the impossible staircase.